'Twas the night before Christmas, the house locked up tight. Yet a shadow approached in the dead of the night. With a glimmering axe, so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick.
The first thing that I want to talk to you about is you're remaking a film that I think everyone who's a genre buff knows was a very controversial film at the time, for a lot of reasons. But something that you're doing in this one that's very different and runs counter to the original while staying faithful to it is you're creating a film based around a killer who has a very well defined moral compass. And I was wondering what it was like for you to create something that was both indebted to the original, but also giving it a bit more depth in terms of where Billy is coming from.
Oh boy, that's a whew, yeah, staying faithful to the original, but making something all its own. I mean, first and foremost, I need to make something. I need to make an original film. I've been given IP in the past, and what's really important to me is that you're gonna go to one of my movies, and if it is a remake or a reimagining, it's gonna be different. Like that's reality. Um, in terms of making Billy somebody a little bit different, yes, I mean, I would say that was from the get-go, something that I wanted to do. I wanted to make him the sympathetic serial killer. I wanted you to be like on board with him, even if you didn't fully know why you were yet. There is a turning point in the movie where it's very obvious that like he has principles and he says it very clearly. But even before that, I wanted him to be somebody that um, you could feel like I want to be around this guy, but I don't know what his thing is yet. So there was tension there. I think, the one thing that I found so far is that when people are introduced to Rowan's Billy, that they're drawn to him. They want to watch him. They want to be with him on screen, but they know what he's capable of. And that to me is so cool to see because that's what we were hoping for. We wanted you to be, kind of fall in love with him even before you know him. Um, and so yeah, that was something that was really important. It was important to keep the idea that there is like that trauma is plays a huge part, like the original, huge part in both of our leads' stories, and that it has affected them, but maybe not in the way that you think. And of course that and how different it is. But then again, what makes it different is the Pam in our movie and the Billy in our movie they find connection through, we'll say, the demons that are in their head that, Billy's able to give Pam that sort of insight. Hey, you're not a bad person. Like, and from if you know the movie, you know, well, he's right. Even though Pam is a little crazy at times, we love her. But like one thing Ruby says all the time when she talks about Pam is like Pam loves ferociously, and that's something that I feel like Ruby really brought to the screen, and I think that's our core. That's our heart. That is what this movie is. It's Billy and Pam. It's two people dealing with demons, dealing with these challenges, and how coming together is explosive, but in the best possible way.
How many people have you killed?
A lot.
Do you have to dress like Santa?
It helps me slip from Billy into something else. Punish.
Wait. Keep it on.
Are you ready for this?
And I'm glad you brought all of that up because I think one of the things that a lot of audiences will be pleasantly surprised by is in the Christmas movie tradition, this is a story that has a lot of actual love to it amid all of the violence and the
Yep.
killing and the scariness. It's kind of like a little backdoor romance, or
Yeah.
like if
Yeah.
Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer was somehow a meet cute rom com in a way. And I was just wondering for you what it's like to sort of imbue a story like this that's so well known with this sort of sense of love and respect that these two people end up having for each other.
It helped for me give it something fresh and it helped it give it like this kind of, dare I say, like rewatchability and this warmth that, like, look, that's what I want to feel during the Christmas season. Like, and I love horror movies, and I love Christmas movies, and I love Christmas horror movies. So like, sure, I dive down and love like the dark side of cinema, and I like some pretty twisted, messed up stuff. But like for me, I love the way that certain Christmas movies make me feel, and I wanted there to be a little bit. I wanted there to be some of that in this, to bring that like that warmth and that love that like a movie like Home Alone or Elf, or that these even like the movie like The Holiday, which I know is like, you know like,
Yeah,
oh, The Holiday. I'm like, dude, give me The Holiday any day. Like, I
the
fucking love the
holiday
movie.
rocks.
Dude, I fucking love The
It's
Holiday.
so good.
That'll be this quote. Did you know that the director of Silent Night loves The Holiday? Barf. I'm like, no, dude. The Holiday is one of my like every year watches alongside Die Hard. Like honestly, like in two different directions. But that's where my love of it came from, and so I needed to bring something that like gave you the warm fuzzies amidst the blood and gore, because ultimately, when it comes down to it, and like when you look at like the work that I like to do, I love to bring warmth. I love to bring heart to the center of something um, scary or brutal, or of something dark, because I feel like that's where you really start to achieve characters going in their most kind of extreme, and like and feeling those situations out. God, it's you need that light in the darkness, to really feel the darkness, in my opinion.
Yeah. The last thing that I want to get into with you about this is shooting in Canada. I think it's really hard to not trip over someone that has in some way worked on a Christmas movie. I
Oh
think
yes.
all actors up here and all crews, it's a big industry here, Christmas movies, as it is everywhere, really. Even Rohan has like a Hallmark movie on his CV as
Yep.
well. So I
Yep.
was wondering for you going into something like this, when you have to have that holiday detail, were there any things that you learned from the cast and crew that you found valuable as someone who has not made a straight up full on holiday movie before?
Um, Crap. I mean, look, I learned that just about everybody there had worked on a Christmas Hallmark movie. Like that was one of the big reveals. I was like, oh God, like everybody here has been, whether it was an actor or a crew member, like everybody's been on a Hallmark movie. In terms of that, I think, one of the things that I can't remember who I was talking to, if it was our AD or some one of our crew, but that like the way that a lot of the Hallmark movies are made, was very different than how we handled our movie. It was, I think they were like, yeah, there's like this kind of method of like you put three characters like boom, 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 and then you just like cross shoot, and you cross shoot, and then you cross shoot, and then you're out. And I was like, interesting. Okay, well, we're not going to be doing that, so much of that. We're going to try to do, hopefully, a little something more cinematic, and that, of course, was the goal. And I think what was really fun about that was, and what the cast and crew started to realize was that no, we don't have a lot of time. We basically do have about as much time as a Hallmark movie does have. We had like 22 days. I think even some Hallmark movies are even less, but like
Oh yeah.
still, it was like let's try to like let's try to do something that has a feel, that it really has a feel to it. Let's make Christmas our own. Yes, there's probably going to be Hallmark vibes because we have all these Christmas lights everywhere, and there's this love story and blah blah blah, whatever. But let's really try to tackle it in a way that makes it special and unique visually. And I think everybody had a lot of fun doing that. So yeah, that was a fun thing. Is It was to see that there was a lot of this. There was some real creativity that I was able to to harness with all these people who really do. They have so much to give. And that was a blast.